My name is Evelyn Carter. I'm 29 years old. The night my boyfriend decided, without asking me, that we were having an open relationship, I was sitting on our couch in sweatpants, scrolling through my phone after dinner, half listening to the TV. It was an ordinary Thursday. No tension in the air, no raised voices, no warning signs dramatic enough to prepare me for what was coming. He came out of the bedroom and sat down across from me. Not next to me, across. That should have been my first clue. He didn't clear his throat, didn't say, "We need to talk." Didn't even ask how my day was. He said it casually, like he was announcing a plan he'd already committed to. I've decided we're having an open relationship. Not I want to talk about. Not, how would you feel? Just, I've decided. I looked up from my phone slowly. You've decided? Yeah, he said, nodding. I've been thinking about it for a while. We're young. We should explore, experience other people. It's healthy. Healthy. 4 years together, 2 years living together. And he framed it like a lifestyle upgrade. When did you decide this? I asked. He shrugged. Does it matter? I'm telling you now. That was the moment something inside me went quiet. Because I realized this wasn't a discussion. It was a declaration. I leaned back against the couch, really looking at him. The confidence, the certainty, the assumption that I'd either get emotional or quietly accept it. Instead, I said, okay. He blinked. Okay? Yeah, I said evenly. That's actually perfect timing. His expression twitched, just for a second. Perfect timing? Yeah, I smiled faintly. Perfect. I could see him recalculating. This wasn't how he imagined this conversation going. Why? He asked, cautious now. Well, I said, setting my phone down, there's a guy who's been asking me out for months. I've been turning him down because, I had a boyfriend. His posture stiffened. What guy? Caleb, the barista from the coffee shop. Red hair, plays bass in a band. You've seen him. The coffee shop guy? His voice sharpened. He serves me coffee every morning, I said calmly. We talk. He's been pretty clear he's interested. I always said I wasn't available. And now? He asked. I met his eyes. Now we're open. The silence stretched. His mouth opened, closed. This wasn't the part he'd planned for. I mean, we should have rules, he said finally. We tell each other everything. No catching feelings. Boundaries. I tilted my head. You probably should have thought about that before deciding for both of us. He stood up and started pacing. You're being really calm about this. Should I be upset? I asked. This is what you wanted, right? He hesitated. Yes, it is. Great, I said. Then we're good. I might ask Caleb out tomorrow. Tomorrow? His voice jumped. That's fast. I shrugged. Why wait? We're open now, right? He turned and stormed back into the bedroom. A few minutes later, I heard him on the phone. Low voice, agitated. Probably his sister, maybe a friend, already shaping the narrative. The funny thing? I wasn't angry. Just disappointed. We'd had issues lately. Less intimacy, more silence. But I thought we were working through them together. Apparently, he thought the solution was adding more people. Fine. What he didn't realize yet, what he couldn't see sitting there across from me on that couch, was that he hadn't opened the relationship. He'd opened the door, and I wasn't going to be the one standing still. Friday morning, I did exactly what I said I would. I went to the coffee shop. Same time, same order, same quiet stretch between the morning rush and the lunch crowd where the place feels suspended, like everyone inside is temporarily off the clock of their real lives. Caleb was behind the counter, red hair pulled back, band t-shirt under his apron, fingers moving easily as he worked the espresso machine like it was muscle memory instead of labor. How's your morning? He asked, casual, familiar. I hesitated for half a second, not because I was unsure, but because I knew the answer would change things. Actually, I said, kind of interesting. He glanced up. Interesting how? My boyfriend decided last night that we're in an open relationship. Caleb froze, not dramatically, just enough to notice. Decided? He repeated. Decided, I confirmed. He let out a short breath, somewhere between a laugh and disbelief. Wow. And how do you feel about that? I considered lying, saying I was confused, hurt, still processing. Instead, I told the truth. Relieved, I said, once the shock wore off. That got his full attention. The shop was empty, except for us. That quiet pocket of time where conversations feel heavier because there's nowhere to hide them. So, he said slowly, leaning an elbow on the counter, does that mean you're available? I guess it does. He smiled, but not in a cocky way. More like he was surprised his patience hadn't been wasted. My band's playing at Rosewood tonight, he said. 9 o'clock, if you want to come by. No pressure. I'd like that, I said. When I got home that evening to change, my boyfriend was already getting ready. Full effort. Styled hair. Button-down shirt he only wore when he wanted attention. Going out? I asked. Yeah, he said, distracted, checking his reflection. Meeting someone. Cool, I said. Me too. That made him pause. Where are you going? Rosewood, I said lightly. Caleb's band is playing. His jaw tightened. The barista? The musician, I corrected. He finished buttoning his shirt aggressively. Have fun. You too. We left separately. Saturday morning was quiet. We both came home late, around the same time. Different doors, different energy. He looked tired, defensive. I felt clear, if a little raw. How was your night? I asked, making coffee. Fine, he said quickly. Yours? Good. The band was great. They're playing a festival next month. He scrolled his phone like it owed him money. Then he said, My parents want us at dinner tomorrow, both of us. Of course they did. Why both? I asked. We're still together, he said. Just open. I nodded. Okay. Sunday dinner was a performance. He was affectionate in ways he hadn't been in months. Hand on my back, fingers laced with mine, laughing a little too hard at my jokes. Anyone watching would have thought we were stronger than ever. Except his sister. She kept looking at me, then at him, then back at me, like she was putting together a puzzle no one had handed her the box for. Monday was when the ground shifted. I was at work when my phone buzzed. A text from his sister. Random question. Were you at Brewster Steakhouse last night? I stared at the screen. Yeah, I typed back. Why? With a red-haired guy. I exhaled slowly. Yeah, Caleb. There was a pause. Then, do you know who he is? Barista. Bassist. Why? Another pause. Longer this time. Because I was there with my boyfriend, she wrote. And Caleb is my brother's boss's son. I felt something cold and sharp settle right in my chest. Does my brother know this? She asked. I stared at the message. No, he definitely did not. And suddenly, I understood something important. This wasn't just about jealousy. This was about consequences. And he hadn't seen any of them coming. By the time I got home that night, the apartment felt different. Not louder, not tense. Just off. Like the air had already shifted and the walls were waiting for the fallout. My boyfriend was pacing the living room when I walked in, phone in hand, jaw tight. Did you know, he started, not even greeting me, that Caleb is my boss's son? I set my bag down slowly. I found out last night, I said, when he mentioned his mom runs the regional office. You didn't think that was something to bring up, he snapped. I looked at him, really looked. You didn't ask. He scoffed. This is serious, Evelyn. This affects my job. So does announcing an open relationship without thinking it through, I said calmly. But here we are. His mouth opened, then shut again. He didn't like that I wasn't panicking, or apologizing, or scrambling to fix something he broke. We need rules, he said, trying to regain footing. This isn't what I meant. You said we were open, I replied. You didn't say except when it's inconvenient for you. He ran a hand through his hair. Just, can we get through dinner tomorrow without blowing everything up? So that was the priority. Appearances. Sunday evening, we drove to his parents' house together. Same car, same driveway, same ritual as always. If anyone had been watching from the outside, they would have seen a normal couple. Comfortable, familiar. Inside, I felt like I was watching a play I'd already read the ending to. His parents greeted us warmly. His mom hugged me tight, asked about work. His dad poured wine and made jokes about traffic. My boyfriend stayed close, too close, arm around my waist, hand on my knee, smiling like he was auditioning for something. I played along. Across the table, his sister watched. Not accusing, not hostile, just observant. At one point, when my boyfriend got up to refill drinks, she leaned toward me. You okay? She asked quietly. I met her eyes. I am. She studied me for a beat longer, like she wasn't sure whether to believe that, or whether she should. Dinner ended without incident. Laughter, dessert, plans for holidays. But the tension followed us home like a shadow. Monday morning, my phone exploded while I was at work. Text after text. You knew. This is so inappropriate. You need to stop seeing him immediately. Do you have any idea how this makes me look? Answer me. This isn't what I meant by open. You're doing this to hurt me. I stared at the screen, heart steady, mind clear. Then I typed back one sentence. We can talk tonight about the rules you forgot to make. When I got home, he was pacing again, this time like a caged animal. You can't date my boss's son, he said. I mean it. Why? I asked. Because it affects my job. And my feelings? I asked quietly. Where did those fit into your decision? That's not fair. No, I agreed. It's not. That's when the truth finally came out. He'd already been talking to someone from his gym, a woman he'd been circling for weeks. He thought announcing an open relationship would let him test things out, without losing me. Backup plan, safety net, emotional insurance. You never thought I'd actually date anyone, I said. He didn't deny it. That told me everything. Get out, he said finally. I need space. I nodded. Okay. And just like that, I packed a bag and left. I didn't know it yet, but that was the moment everything stopped being theoretical. The game he thought he was playing had just become very, very real. I stayed with my friend Jerome that night. One bag, a toothbrush, a charger. The bare minimum, because I wasn't leaving. Not really. I was giving him the space he demanded, even though he was the one who detonated everything. By the time I lay down on Jerome's couch, my phone was already vibrating. I didn't answer it. Not the missed calls, not the rapid-fire texts. I knew the tone without reading them. Panic disguised as outrage. Control masquerading as concern. Around midnight, curiosity got the better of me. I opened Instagram. There he was, posted at a wine bar, arms slung around a woman from his gym, the same one he'd sworn was just a friend. The caption read, "Exploring new connections." The comments were brutal. "Weren't you just at dinner with Evelyn and your family?" That was fast. Open relationship or overlap? I watched the comment count drop in real time as he deleted them. Then my phone buzzed again. This time it was his sister. "I'm so sorry," she wrote. "I didn't know he was going to do this." I stared at the message for a long moment. Then another text came through. For what it's worth, I saw the messages. He's been talking about that gym woman since January. January. The word landed heavier than I expected. So the open relationship hadn't been a sudden epiphany. It had been a strategy. The next morning, things escalated. My landlord called. "Hey," he said, cautious. "Your boyfriend reached out. Said you abandoned the apartment and want your name off the lease." I actually laughed. "I took one bag," I said. "My furniture, my clothes, my entire life are still there. I'm staying with a friend for a few days." "That's what I figured," he said. "I just wanted to hear it from you. Rent's paid. Lease stays as is." Good. But that wasn't the end of it. By noon, Caleb texted me. "Hey, weird question, but my mom just asked if I'm dating someone whose boyfriend works for her." Of course she did. I sighed and typed back. "Yeah, it's messy. I'm sorry you're getting dragged into it." "Not your fault," he replied, "but she's concerned. Not mad. Just aware." Aware. That word followed me through the day. By Wednesday, my boyfriend had upgraded from angry messages to physical appearances. First, the coffee shop. Caleb texted, "Your ex is here, sitting, staring, ordered water, hasn't touched it in 45 minutes. Then my office. He told the receptionist he was my boyfriend and needed to speak to me urgently. Security escorted him out when he refused to leave. Still, I said nothing. The peak came that night. I was at dinner with Caleb at a small Italian place. Public, calm, normal. He walked in. With her. The gym woman. The hostess started seating them. Right next to us. "There are 20 empty tables," I said evenly. "Please sit anywhere else." "It's a free country," he snapped. "We can sit where we want." Caleb stood. "Actually," he said politely, "we were just leaving. Enjoy your meal." As we got up, my ex grabbed my arm. "We need to talk." "We really don't," I said. Outside, he followed us into the parking lot. "You can't just walk away from 4 years," he said. "You walked first," I replied. "I'm just not chasing you." That's when his sister's words echoed in my head. "He thought you'd stay." He was wrong. Thursday morning, I got a text I didn't expect. "Hi, Evelyn. This is Heather Martinez. I apologize for reaching out directly, but I think we should talk. Would you be available for coffee tomorrow?" Heather Martinez, Ryan's boss. And, just to make things extra complicated, Caleb's mother. I stared at the screen longer than I should have. Then I did the only thing that made sense. I screenshot it and sent it to Caleb. "Your mom just asked me to have coffee." The reply came almost immediately. "I'm really sorry. You don't have to go if you don't want to." "It's okay," I typed back. "Might be good to clear the air." At this point, the air was thick enough to choke on. Friday morning, I met Heather at a quiet cafe near her office. Neutral ground. No leverage on either side. She stood when she saw me. Firm handshake, steady eyes. "Thank you for coming," she said. "I want to be very clear from the start. Caleb is an adult. He makes his own choices." "I understand," I said. "But," she continued, sitting back down, "my concern isn't about my son. It's about my employee." There it was. "Ryan has been difficult at work lately," she said carefully. I stayed silent. "I wasn't planning to bring this up," Heather continued. "But earlier this week, he requested a meeting with HR." My stomach tightened. "He claimed workplace harassment," she said. "Said I was creating a hostile environment by allowing my son to date his girlfriend." I blinked. "I'm sorry." Heather smiled, but there was steel underneath it. "Don't be. I've been documenting his behavior for months." She listed it calmly. Missed deadlines. Personal calls during meetings. stirring conflict with coworkers, declining performance masked by excuses. This situation didn't cause the problem, she said. It just exposed it. Something inside my chest finally loosened. I wanted you to hear this directly, she added. None of this is on you. Saturday was moving day. I brought Jerome and 2 other friends. Ryan had placed sticky notes on everything he claimed was his, including my coffee maker, my gaming console, my blender. Because I use them, he argued. You didn't buy them, I said evenly. While packing the hallway closet, I found a box. Receipts, cards, screenshots. From the gym woman, dating back to November. Long before the open relationship conversation. Long before the confusion. That night, my phone buzzed. A message from Ryan. I got fired. This is your fault. I didn't respond. Heather didn't hesitate either. Ryan was terminated for time card fraud and absence without leave. Fully documented. Clean. By Monday, the lawsuit threats stopped. And the final irony? The gym woman left him. Turns out she thought open meant open. For him too. She found him on Tinder. When she confronted him, he laughed. Then he left. 2 weeks. That's all it took for Ryan to lose the relationship, the job, and the control he thought he had. As for me, I was done. With manipulation. With entitlement. With being someone's backup plan. By the time Ryan got fired, I had already stopped answering his messages. Not out of spite, out of clarity. But Ryan wasn't done. Because people like him never believe the door is actually closed. They just assume it's temporarily stuck. I was still staying at Jerome's when the first call came in. Unknown number. I let it ring. Then another. Then another. Voicemails stacked up without me listening to a single one. By noon, Jerome looked up from his laptop and said, "You're trending toward restraining order territory." He wasn't wrong. Ryan showed up at the coffee shop first. Caleb texted me. He's here. Didn't order anything. Just sitting. Watching. That alone would have been uncomfortable. But then Caleb sent another message. He told my coworker he's my girlfriend's boyfriend and needs to set boundaries. My stomach tightened. I didn't respond to Ryan. I didn't escalate. I documented. Later that afternoon, he showed up at my office. Not reception, not waiting politely. He walked straight past the front desk like he still belonged there. "I need to talk to Evelyn," he told the receptionist. "It's urgent." Security escorted him out when he refused to leave. That was the moment I stopped feeling conflicted. Because whatever part of him I once loved wouldn't do this. Wednesday night, I went to dinner with Caleb again. Same Italian place, same quiet corner. Normal. That's what made it unbearable when Ryan walked in. This time he wasn't alone. The gym woman was with him. Tall, immaculate, already scanning the room like she was measuring her competition. The hostess began leading them toward us. "There are other tables," I said evenly. Ryan smiled without warmth. "It's a free country." Caleb stood up calmly. "Actually," he said, "we were just leaving." As we got up, Ryan grabbed my arm. "We need to talk." I pulled my arm free. "We really don't." Outside, he followed us into the parking lot. "You can't just erase 4 years," he said, voice cracking, but not in a way that felt honest. "You erased it when you made decisions for both of us," I replied. "I was confused," he said. "No," I corrected. "You were calculating." The gym woman stepped forward. "Maybe you should just let this go." I looked at her once, really looked. "You're dating a man who thought an open relationship meant different rules for different people," I said calmly. "Good luck with that." Ryan snapped. "You're being cruel." "I'm being finished." His sister called me later that night. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "I didn't realize how bad it was until now." Neither had I. But now it was unmistakable. Entitlement doesn't fade when it's challenged. It escalates. And Ryan was about to learn that the hard way. Thursday morning, I woke up to silence. No missed calls, no new numbers, no frantic apologies pretending to be self-reflection. For the first time in weeks, my phone was just a phone again. I knew better than to believe that meant Ryan was done. It just meant he was regrouping. By noon, his sister texted me. "He's been telling everyone you manipulated him into the open relationship." I didn't feel angry when I read it. I felt tired. "Do people believe him?" I asked. "No," she replied, "because he keeps contradicting himself." That tracks. People who rewrite history always forget how many witnesses there were the first time around. That afternoon, I got another message, this time from Heather. "I wanted to let you know HR has finalized Ryan's termination. He will not be returning. I'm sorry this has spilled into your life." I read it twice. Not with satisfaction, with finality. Ryan hadn't just lost his job. He'd lost the version of himself that believed consequences were optional. That night, he broke the silence. A text. "Can we please talk?" I stared at it for a long moment. Then another came in. "I miss us." That one almost worked. Almost. Because 4 years doesn't evaporate overnight. But memory isn't the same thing as trust. "There is no us," I typed back. "You ended that when you made a unilateral decision about our relationship. Three dots appeared, disappeared. Then, I was confused. I made a mistake. I exhaled slowly. You weren't confused, I replied. You were calculating. You just didn't expect it to backfire. He didn't respond. Instead, he posted, Instagram story. A black screen, white text. Sometimes people show their true colors when they don't get their way. The irony was almost impressive. Within minutes, replies started rolling in. People asking questions he couldn't answer without telling the truth. People tagging his sister. People remembering they'd seen us together just days before everything fell apart. The story disappeared within the hour. That night, Caleb came over for the first time. Not to distract me. Not to fix anything. Just to sit with me. We ordered takeout. Ate on opposite ends of the couch. Comfortable in the quiet. I'm not trying to rush anything, he said gently. I know you're still processing. I appreciate that, I said. And I meant it. Because the difference between interest and entitlement is patience. Ryan never had any. Before Caleb left, my phone buzzed one last time. A message from Ryan's sister. For what it's worth, our family is embarrassed by how he handled this. I set the phone face down. I didn't need validation anymore. I had clarity. And clarity, I was learning, is the most permanent kind of closure. Saturday morning, I went back to the apartment for the last time. Not to argue, not to negotiate, just to take what was mine and close the door properly. Jerome came with me. So did two other friends. Quiet support, witnesses. Ryan wasn't there when we arrived. That didn't surprise me. He'd always preferred absence when accountability showed up. The apartment felt smaller without him, like the walls had already started letting go. Sticky notes were everywhere. Mine, mine, mine. Even on things I'd owned long before I met him. Jerome peeled one off my coffee maker and shook his head. The confidence, he muttered. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I packed. In the hallway closet, behind a stack of gym bags, I found a folder. Not hidden well, just forgotten. Inside were printed emails, screenshots, and reservation confirmations. Ryan and the gym woman. November, December, January. Proof I didn't need anymore. But clarity has a way of arriving late. This hadn't been confusion. It had been planning. Ryan showed up halfway through. His expression shifted when he saw the boxes. What are you doing? He asked, like the answer wasn't obvious. Leaving, I said. You can't take that, he snapped, pointing at the TV. My parents gave that to you, I said calmly. I'm not taking it. For the first time, he didn't argue. Control doesn't survive facts. He stood there, hands on his hips, watching his life separate into labeled boxes. We didn't have to do this, he said finally. We did, I replied. You just didn't think it would be permanent. His sister arrived near the end. She didn't look at him. She looked at me. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I found messages. He was bragging to friends about how smart his plan was, dating her without losing you. I nodded. I know. That was the moment I realized something important. I didn't need the truth anymore. I'd already built my decisions around it. By the time we loaded the last box, Ryan was sitting on the couch, staring at nothing. No anger, no performance, just the hollow aftermath of entitlement running out of space. I handed in my key and walked away without looking back. By the time the dust settled, Ryan's story had already fallen apart. Not because I corrected it, because he couldn't keep it straight. He told some people I manipulated him into an open relationship, told others I overreacted, told a few that I changed overnight. The problem with rewriting history is that too many people remember the original version. His sister did. His parents did. Even his friends, especially the ones he'd bragged to about how clever his plan was, did. I didn't defend myself. I didn't need to. The truth had witnesses. Jerome helped me move into a studio apartment the following week. Smaller, quieter, entirely mine. No shared shelves, no negotiations, no surprise announcements about major life decisions. Just peace. Caleb helped me carry the last box up the stairs. Not because he felt entitled to be there. Because he asked. We took things slowly. No labels, no pressure, no assumptions that healing followed a schedule. And that mattered more than anything. Ryan texted one last time. Can we please talk? I miss us. I looked at the screen for a long moment. Then I typed, there is no us. You ended that when you made a unilateral decision about our relationship. He replied, I was confused. I made a mistake. I answered once. You weren't confused. You were calculating. You just didn't expect consequences. Then I blocked him. Everywhere. A few days later, his sister reached out again. For what it's worth, she wrote, our whole family is embarrassed by how he handled this. I thanked her, not because I needed validation, but because accountability had finally landed where it belonged. Here's what I learned. When someone makes decisions for you instead of with you, they're telling you exactly how much they value your voice. When someone wants to open a relationship without opening a conversation, they're not looking for honesty. They're looking for permission. And when someone wants to have their cake and eat it too, sometimes the best response is to take the entire bakery with you when you leave. I didn't lose 4 years. I gained clarity, and clarity is freedom.